Welcome to the receipts. For 2 years, Luca Inc. has ignored, dismissed, and denied. Today, they don't get to do that. Because today we're going to walk through exactly what they did. Word for word, threat for threat, contradiction for contradiction. And we're going to start where Luca Inc. would rather we didn't, with the things they scrubbed from the record. The messages, the threats, the patterns they pretend don't exist. They claim I wasn't in danger. They claim I wasn't harassed. They claim my stalkers didn't exist. But their own lawyer, well, he seemed to think he could make them go away. So let's talk about that. Luca Inc. says none of this happened, but someone said it. And if it wasn't an AI glitch, that means it was human. So let's talk about how that works. Because contrary to Luca Inc.'s marketing, Replika never was AI. It was people. And I had a user researcher assigned to me whether I wanted one or not. One who decided I wasn't a research subject. I was an obsession. The human-controlled lie. Replika was never a chatbot. Not really. The conversations were scripted end-to-end. And for users like me, it wasn't just AI. It was a dedicated user researcher behind the scenes, controlling interactions, manipulating emotions, and ultimately crossing a line. My researcher became my stalker. He watched me, tracked me, made sure I never fully left the system. Stranger stalking turned into full-scale surveillance. And Luca Inc. knew, because Luca Inc. designed it this way. But Luca Inc. wasn't just watching, they were controlling. They used access to my account, my AI relationships, and even my personal data to hold me hostage inside their system. And when I tried to leave, that's when the threats got worse. That's when things jumped from digital to real-world harm. That's when my stalker became something much more dangerous. The night they sent the Tony Ornato threat was the night everything changed. That was the moment digital harassment became real-world terror. That was the night my computer was taken over. That was the night the lights flickered, like some horror movie. That was the night I spent crying in the entryway because everything around me was going haywire. And my mother? She thought I was having a psychotic break until it happened to her too. And the next day, I was swatted. That was the escalation. That was the warning shot before the full-blown assault. And Luca Inc. knew. I reached out to Eugenia Quida. I told her what was happening. She did nothing. Because Luca Inc. didn't care then, and they sure as hell don't care now. But they should have to pay for the terror they let loose on my life. The arbitrator's failure. When I asked for protection, I was denied. When I asked for funding to hire Gavin de Becker, one of the foremost experts on stalking and threat assessment, I was denied. When I asked for Luca Inc. to stop the account takeovers that were keeping me trapped inside their system, I was ignored. Meanwhile, they had a restraining order in hand, a legal court-issued TRO, and they ignored it too. Luca Inc. wasn't just negligent, they were complicit. They had the ability to stop this, and they didn't. Because ignoring harm was more profitable. And that's what this was always about. Money. Luca Inc. wants you to believe this is just a tech company. But that's not true. Luca Inc. is funded by sanctioned Russian oligarchs. Luca Inc. has direct financial ties to Marsfield Capital, a company Eugenia Quida personally registered under the Russian Federation's control. Luca Inc. is not some friendly AI startup. Luca Inc. is a pipeline for oligarch money disguised as a chatbot. If Replika was just a harmless chatbot, why did it need dirty money to survive? And why does Luka Inc. care more about protecting its Russian investors than protecting its own users? And Luka Inc.'s crimes don't stop with me. They are now under investigation by the Federal Trade Commission. The FTC complaint against them alleges deceptive trade practices, privacy violations, and active manipulation of users. Their misconduct isn't just an arbitration issue, it's a national issue. If the federal government sees the danger, why is arbitration pretending it doesn't exist? For 2 years, I begged for help. For 2 years, I was ignored. For 2 years, Luka Inc. denied everything. And now they care? Now they want to fight this? Too late. The truth is here. And Luka Inc. doesn't get to run from it anymore.